Hi everybody, I'm Kelly Heidbreder and this is Lenawee. We're taking a tour around Lenawee County to see some amazing things going on right here in our classrooms. Onsted Elementary students are getting heart healthy in their gym class. And the Lenawee County Better Business Bureau checks in today. You might be getting sucked into a scam instead of giving to a wonderful charity, so we're going to protect you. Our automotive students here at the LISD TECH Center get a chance to see the new consumer energy car up close and personal. And I get a chance to meet one of my favorite TV stars from that popular show on the Discovery Channel, Mythbusters. From healthy hearts, electric cars, and Mythbusters, now we go to penguins. What more do you want? Students in Clinton schools are getting a unique science lesson by learning about penguins. I love penguins, don't you? Check it out.
Today we were working on penguin dwelling, something that we've done for a couple of years now. And what this project is it helps students kind of get better understanding of heat transfer. So for instance, radiation from the sun and how to design against that. They're tasked with protecting an ice cube penguin. We use specialized trays to make a little ice cube for them. And they have to design this structure with heat transfer in mind to prevent the ice cube penguin from melting. The group with the most penguin wins. Before they began the project, we had a lab day where they are kind of familiarized with different materials and the ideas of insulators versus conductors. So for instance, they worked with plastics, with metals. They used an example of a home under heat lamps to see how convection currents work. So the bottom of the house was at a cooler temperature than the top of the house. And they used all of these principles in their design to reflect those ideas and to create a better understanding of what's going on.
You have to build an igloo that you think will withstand 20 minutes inside of a tote with tinfoil around it with really hot, bright lights on it. And if there's a little penguin inside of here, it's an ice cube penguin, and you have to try to make the penguin keep or not melt in 20 minutes. And if you take it out and it is not melted, then we're gonna measure how much the ice cube has in like mass and stuff, and the best wins.
It's helpful for if you get into the construction industry or the energy industry, and for construction you're gonna want to make the building, make it cool, do all the technology.
We've done this for about 2 years now, and so what we're seeing with the designs is they're becoming more and more specialized, which is great. The kids are kind of using each other as resources more, and they're getting a little bit more creative. So for instance, one of the common design elements I'm seeing this year is almost a straw pipe to act as a heat escape. And so that's been something new, and when you see a cool kind of new thing introduced, you all automatically see a lot of groups trying to test out that same idea as well. We see some classics like bubble wrap or using tin foil or aluminum foil as a reflector, and that works really well too. The nice thing about this project, it lasts about a week, and the students are allowed to test and retest and kind of tweak their design using what they've found. So for instance, today we masked some of these ice cubes, and the winning person had 75% remaining. We had 60% and we had a 50%, and those particular groups are going back to the design board to see what they can do to make it better before our final competition.
That was an Arctic blast. All right, let's head to Onsted Schools. The elementary school gym teacher there has done his own homework. He found a grant and he was able to buy heart monitors for all of his students. So they are thinking about their health already.
We worked with Nurse Laura. We wrote a grant trying to promote more fitness into the elementary physical education classroom. The Lenawee Foundation was able to give us some money for us to purchase about 10 to 15 heart monitors for our students. So it's a really good opportunity for our kids to kind of get into grips with their own physical activity.
Hi, I'm Jace Hiscock, and this is a heart monitor. It keeps track of your heart rate when you exercise. You can run and it keeps track, or you could like jog and see how long or how high you can get your heart rate. or jump rope or something to exercise.
Each month we do a lot of different testing, but this way when we do our running tests, they're able to see where their heart is and kind of have some concrete facts and numbers on how hard they're actually working during physical education classroom. So it's a real exciting opportunity for the kids and me as their teacher. And what I tell the kids all the time is they get an opportunity to come into a gym for 50 minutes once or twice a week to work out and get healthier. When you become adults, you pay a lot of money for 50 minutes in a gym to work out. So this is an opportunity for them. They don't really understand that they will later on, that they have a chance to really work hard in here.
It looks like they have some good, healthy habits already forming at Onsted Elementary School. We know we need that for our adult lifestyle. But coming up next, the Better Business Bureau has a warning about charity scams.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Oh, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything. Dress code optional.
Apparently. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
You might get calls from a person saying they're from a cancer foundation or maybe an Alzheimer's charity and they are asking for money. But before you send in that check or you give them your credit card number, listen to these tips from the Lenawee County Better Business Bureau.
A few months ago, the Federal Trade Commission put out an alert on phony cancer charities. And they named charities. Some of the names were Cancer Fund of America, Cancer Support Services, Children's Cancer Fund of America, Breast Cancer Society. These were named by the Federal Trade Commission as charities that really don't fight cancer at all. The Better Business Bureau has information on literally thousands of charities, and we check them out. We have books, we have literature on our investigations of these charities. When you get a letter and it says fight cancer, or fight heart disease, or fight diabetes, or feed the hungry, how do you know that the letter you're getting is from a legitimate charity? Well, what BBB does, what we do, is we get their financial reports. We find out how much of your donation really goes to fight cancer and how much of it goes to overhead, salaries, administration, fundraising, and so on. All charities have overhead, but we say that a charity has to spend at least 65% of your donation on programs. And some of these charities, these phony cancer charities, they don't spend 10%, 15%. Some of them I've seen as low as 5% actually fights cancer, and the rest of it goes to fundraising and overhead and big houses and fancy boats and the other things for the characters who operate these charities. We have a whole set of 20 standards that we use to evaluate charities. And if a charity meets all of our 20 standards, we say so. This charity meets our standards. As with American Cancer, as with Susan Komen, they meet all of our standards. If you check with BBB and you say, before I send my check to this charity, this cancer charity, what's the BBB report? And we'll say, this charity does not respond to our requests. My suggestion on charity giving is give to well-established local charities. Give to the United Way and the Red Cross and the local cancer chapter and so on. The local charities that help with feeding the hungry and helping the veterans and so on. That's the way to do it. Not send your money to California and Florida and sometimes overseas for some appeal when you really haven't done your homework first. Remember, what they send you, the greeting cards, the stickers and so on, those are unconditional free gifts. You don't have any obligation. You can use them. We use them. My family uses them. But we don't send any money to these charities. We send it to the good local charities. If you want to help the police, the firefighters, the handicapped, the veterans, look up who the local charities are and send them a check directly to the local charity. Don't fall for the telemarketers. Most of the telemarketers do not meet our standards, and you're really not helping anybody.
If you want to contact the Lenawee County Better Business Bureau, just go to their website. It's bbb.org, or you can call them at 419-720-7188. When we come back, our Automotive Services Technology class gets a peek at the car of the future.
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun.
Oh, go for cake!
Cake for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes, and it's go for cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Our Automotive Services Technology class is one of the most popular classes we have here at the LISD Tech Center, and these students aren't your typical motorheads or grease monkeys. Matter of fact, they learn a lot of high-tech skills every day in their class. They also get visits from companies that can show them the latest technology in their field. Consumer Energy stopped by recently to show off their energy car, so let's check it out together.
Well, we have the opportunity to have Consumer Energy come in and bring some of their latest vehicles. The first one is a brand new Chevrolet that's powered by compressed natural gas. And the second one is a truck's vehicle. Basically, it's a General Motors pickup truck that has been converted over to be a battery-powered truck. It's basically a generator on wheels that moves by battery power.
I've heard about hybrid vehicles before, and I kind of knew what they were, but like seeing it in action, seeing all the wirings, seeing all the voltage and whatnot, it's really interesting. I've never heard a hybrid vehicle start up, so that was really cool. There's no sound.
What we're seeing here is the adaptation of technology by industry and how it's going to affect their future. We're moving away from the liquid fossil fuels. Compressed natural gas or natural gas is far more abundant than our fossil fuels are. And we're going to start seeing this around, used in different areas. The problem we have now is infrastructure. So once we get that in metropolitan areas, it's not going to be a silver bullet for everything, but it's going to be one slice of the pie as we continue forward.
It changes from gasoline to the natural gas by just back and forth, and you never notice it. There is difference to the engine and the fact that it has two different fuels injected into it, and that the trunk is used up for the tank of the natural gas.
And this particular vehicle is dual fueled. So this one runs on not only gasoline, it can also run on E85, and it can also run on compressed natural gas. So the owner could buy this vehicle, and we could have the option of having many different fuels run through it, maybe depending on the price.
Wasn't that great? Another chance for our students to make connections with those in the business world, and they are great relationships to build as they get closer to graduation. When we come back, I get to bust some myths with one of my favorite TV scientists.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives. including academics, high school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Well, as you know, I'm a meteorologist, and basically, I can tell you, I'm a science geek at heart. So one of my favorite shows on television is Mythbusters on the Discovery Channel. And I had a chance to meet one of the stars of the show, Tory Belecci, and we got to bust a myth or two, so check it out. Everybody, you know me, I love science. So when Mythbusters comes to the Imagination Station in Toledo, I need to find my superhero. Let's do some looking around. Tory, you're my superhero, especially when it comes to science. Is that a lot of pressure?
That's sad. If I'm your superhero, I feel sorry.
Well, you know, I've been watching as a fan for so long, and I'm so glad you came to visit me.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. Toledo is such a great town, and they are gonna love this exhibit because if you're a fan of the show, this is probably the closest you're gonna get to being a Mythbuster.
Yeah.
The props aren't props, they're actual machines that we built for the show. Now they're here for people to get close to and check out.
Yeah, we even get to see like the blueprint room, start from scratch, really,
Yeah.
and walk all the way around.
See how bad our welds are, how horrible our buildings. Like if you look close, you're like, oh gosh, that's how they built it?
I wouldn't know, because I don't know how to weld, but I would be like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys come up with the different myths? Obviously, you have viewer input, but really, when it comes down to rubber meets the road, how do you pick the right ones you want to do?
We would go through a process, and it was like, it had to have some criteria where it was like, is there enough science to test? Is it going to be entertaining? Because if it's boring, why even do the show?
If there's blowing something up or fire included, you're good.
Yeah,
right?
and if there was like enough to test, then we would do an experiment. Yeah.
And I love it how you guys always take it to the next level. Yeah, this is what we were supposed to test. Now let's take it to the next level.
Well, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. That's what I say.
Tell me some of your favorites.
Oh,
You've been
gosh.
to the show.
One of my favorites, we were testing if you had a cement truck and the concrete set off inside of it, could you use dynamite to dislodge the concrete?
Oh, right.
And so we were testing it. We were using like a stick of dynamite. We got up to like 5 sticks. Nothing happened. And so finally we were like, we need an ending to this story. So we loaded up, with the help of the FBI, we loaded up a concrete truck with 800 pounds of explosives and disintegrated it. And it was my first explosive, and you never forget your first time.
You never forget your first time. And it just obliterated the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was
for miles.
Disintegrated. Yeah.
Luckily you had some pros on scene for you on that one.
Well, we've learned, like in the very early days, we learned if you want to do anything dangerous or illegal, get the police, get the FBI and the fire department involved, and then you can pretty much do whatever you want.
The concrete explosion, of course, is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
But we've watched you just get pummeled time after time.
I know.
We love that, but we hate that. Tell me a little bit about something.
I think everybody loves to see a grown man get hurt.
My guys wanted to know, how does asphalt taste?
It doesn't.
Well, not good, right?
Yeah. I know. People are like, how did you not break every bone in your face? And I was like, I
don't know.
Yeah. But I think I learned over the years to start saying no to things.
Now tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
So I grew up in California, and I went to film school out there, and then worked at Lucasfilm for about 8 years, and worked on Star Wars. And
oh my gosh, how wonderful!
And that's where I met Grant.
Star Wars, I'm touching. Okay.
I know. I'm really excited about the new one that's coming.
Okay, good. That's fantastic. You said Grant?
Yeah, so I met Grant there. Adam and Jamie, we all met working in the special effects industry. So when Jamie and Adam started Mythbusters, they called on us to come in as background builders. And then
turned out to be TV personalities,
we
really.
evolved into hosts.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing I love about the mix is we have different personalities that are our hosts, and we all connect with you in a different way. Like I said, I feel like, well, heck, we've known each other for a couple decades now, haven't we?
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Not too weird, though, right?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not awkward at all.
I don't know. How much science base do you have? You were talking about being a film school, but
I know, like, none of us have degrees in science. Grant has a bachelor's in electrical engineering, so that's about as close. Like, that's the only person that has any kind of degree in science. Carrie and I have degrees in film and art. Adam has a high school diploma, and then Jamie has a good degree in Russian. But we're all very curious, and we all love to build. So.
Well, and I think that's the part of it we love is because you're kind of looking at it from my perspective. I might not be a scientist that has had a doctorate in anything, but I still want to know how long can I hang from that ledge before I whack my shin?
Yeah.
Hey, remember that time?
How can I forget? I still got a scar to prove it.
Do you really?
That was the first time I ever I was rushed to the emergency room.
Yeah, we saw that one.
Like, we loved that one.
Wow, we didn't love it. And we were talking about that because the sound effects were still there. And of course, in Mythbusters style, it went slow-mo.
Yeah.
And then another slow-mo.
I know.
You're really including a lot of the country, really. You're all over the place.
Yeah, and I think the reason the show lasted for so long and was so popular is because people really wanted to know, is this true or false?
Right.
Are these myths, did this really happen, or is it just folklore? Love playing.
Tell me about your co-hosts, a little background on all of them as well. Some kind of fun stories behind the scenes.
So we did one, like Carrie and I go back and forth,
Yeah.
and we tease each other. But there was one episode where we were testing if you stuck your tongue to a frozen coal, would it stick?
That one, right.
Now, we're from California, so we don't get cold winters.
like we do here.
You would probably
Like we
learn
do.
that at a very young
Yeah,
age.
right.
And so we had to test it with a pig's tongue before
I
we tested it
remember.
with a human tongue. And so we had this
That was
whole
disgusting.
experiment set up where we made the tongue body temperature, but we needed saliva to put paint on
And
it.
she made you guys spit in a jar.
We had to spit in
That was
too.
so gross.
It was disgusting.
It was.
But she came out after and she put it on the table, and while she looked away, I swapped it out for another identical one that I'd filled up with water. And I was like, I go, I'll drink it. And she was like, I dare you. And so I drank it, and then she threw up. So that was a good one, and she still hasn't got me back for that one.
Practical joker that you are.
Yeah.
She's gonna get you back. You know she
Yeah,
will.
payback sucks.
So tell me a little bit about now that the show is ending. We're all very sad about that. So tell me what's next.
Well, we've had 14 years of a show. It's kind of like unheard of in
It
television.
is.
But we had a great run, and now we're looking forward to. We have new projects that we're working on. Carrie and I were doing a show called Thrill Factor on Travel Channel.
Super.
We went around the country riding roller coasters and looking at the science behind that. So it's been
Not a bad
great.
gig?
No, it's
Not a bad gig.
It's been like Mythbusters was great, but it's like we're really excited about the future.
Yeah, and so am I. You've been teaching people, not just kids, but teaching people for decades as well. Tell me a little bit about how that feels.
Well, I think a lot of people love the fact that we're not in lab coats and scientists, that we're just normal people, and people can relate to that, and we can explain the science in a simple way. And I think that's why it has such a big impact, is because people can get excited about science where normally they wouldn't.
You want to do a myth together?
Yeah.
Wanna bust something?
I got a challenge for you.
You do?
Let's
All
see-
right, let's go.
Let's see if you can
Check it
do
out.
what I can do, or not. All right, you ready for this challenge?
I am.
All right, so the challenge is, this is all about friction. And if you can pull the tablecloth out fast enough without
Disturbing my
spilling
dishes.
the dishes.
This
All
is
right,
Thanksgiving.
Let me show you how
Okay.
it's not done.
Whoa!
I surprised myself. All right, so you got a table over
Your
there.
face was like, I can't believe
I
I
can't
did
believe it. Usually it just goes everywhere. All right, so here
Okay,
is your test.
Excuse me,
Let's
Ted.
see how
Ted's hanging out over here. I don't know who this
Let's
is.
see
but-
how many superpowers you
Okay.
have.
And do we have a wand you have to wave or any kind of magic powers
You
we
do
have to
whatever
say?
you want, whatever works for
It's
you.
based on friction.
Yeah.
And if not, it's going to go, everyone else is going to have these dishes in their living
Well,
room is
just-
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Pretty good.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
You just spilled a little bit of coffee.
You know,
That's it.
no big deal. We got this. We can wipe it up
Nice
with.
work.
Right? Yeah, right. Nice job, superhero. Woo! On to new adventures.
Good job.
You too. Wasn't that fun? I really learned a lot about that show from Tory, and also I look forward to seeing his new show about roller coasters with Carrie on the Travel Channel. Well, that's our show, and thanks for sharing time with us. If you see something amazing going on right here in Lenawee County, well, we want to know about it. Share it with us. Just email me at lisdtv@lisd.us. I'm your host, Kelly Heidbreder. Make it a great day, Lenawee.